Thank you so much, everyone, for coming and gracing this occasion with your presence. And we extend a very warm welcome to all of you. And media has been very supportive of the direct selling industry. Big shout out to all of you. And yes, we are making our part in the contribution of the growth story of India. And with your support, we do look forward to making a significant contribution moving onwards. So I understand that while most of you are generally aware about what direct selling is or how it operates, but I think it would be better for me and for everyone's understanding if we make a small presentation. So this will basically cover all the important data and figures for Indian industry, how India is placed globally, and basically everything that you want to know about direct selling. And of course, in case you have any questions, we are there to answer it at the end of it. So starting with the presentation. Direct selling, we call it people's business. The theme for the year 2019-20. Now the facts and the figures that I'm going to share with you is for the financial year 2019-20. The next year, financial year 2020 and 2021, as you know, was largely impacted by COVID, and because of the the government allowed the companies to submit their returns up to December. So that's why we are still compiling the figures for the year, and most probably in the month of February 2022, we will be releasing the data for 2020 and 2021. That would be for the COVID year. This is for the year before. So let's first quickly understand what IDSA is all about. So IDSA, the Indian Direct Selling Association. So we were founded in the year 1996. Now 1996 also happens to be the year when direct selling industry started in India. So at that time, taking advantage of the relaxations in the FDI policy, companies like Amway and Oriflame, Herbalife, international companies, they came India, and simultaneously many Indian companies like Modicare, they started their operations. So IDSA was also founded in the year 1996 by this company because it felt that, looking from the global learning, that there needs to be a specific association to address the queries pertaining to the business. IDSA is a member of the World Federation of Direct Selling Associations, which is headquartered in Washington DC, USA. Now, like IDSA is there representing India, so WFDSA has representations from over 62 national direct selling associations. So what happens due to this affiliation with World Federation is that IDSA gets access to a vast knowledge pool from around the world. What are the best practices happening in other countries? What are the laws that are being enacted there? And that's why we are able to recommend similar things to our government and our authorities here. That's this is happening in, let's say, Korea, or this is happening in the European region, this is happening in USA, which is good for the industry, which has shown results there. So please kindly, you can come up with a similar framework here in India as well. IDSA is governed by an executive committee. On the other hand, World Federation is governed by a CEO council. World Federation is doing business because of these 62 associations in over 170 countries. IDSA, we have 19 member companies, but all these 19 member companies, they are top direct selling entities of India, and collectively IDSA represents over 50% of the gross direct selling industry in India. So these 19 companies alone are contributing to more than 50% of the overall Indian turnover. Now let's just quickly understand what direct selling concept is all about, or how direct selling works. So this is how a retail, traditional retail supply chain works. So you have manufacturer on one end and consumer on the other end. So what happens is, for a product to pass from manufacturer to consumer, it has to pass through various intermediaries like distributor, wholesaler, retailer, and at every stage some 15-20% markup is added to the project cost. Now what direct selling does is, direct selling removes these intermediaries and we replace them by our network of sellers, whom we call direct sellers. So in this way we are able to bring the manufacturer and consumer closer to each other, and that's why the companies are able to offer good quality, best quality products, world-class quality products to our consumers at very affordable prices, because we have virtually eliminated the intermediaries. How direct selling evolved? So direct selling, it started in the year 1886 when world's first direct selling company, Avon, was established. Now Avon is also a member of IDSA. By 1925, now this is primarily, the industry was focused in USA that time. So by 1925, the industry was already generating a turnover of 300 to 500 million USD. By 1960s, emergence of new companies that started to come up, different kind of models that started to come up, compensation plans. By 1970s, the product portfolio got diversified. Now, earlier when the industry started, this business was primarily focused around selling cosmetics products, or probably, let's say, home appliances or books. But by 1970s, household goods, household products, nutraceutical products, they started to, being offered. By 1996, as I mentioned earlier, was the year in which direct selling industry started in India, taking advantage of the liberal FDI policies. Companies like Avon, Amway, Oriflame, Herbalife, they opened their India office. Indian companies like Modicare, they started their business in India. 2017 was the landmark year for the industry. For the first time, industry in India crossed the turnover of 10,000 crores. Now let's just quickly see how the global direct selling industry is performing. So as I'm presenting before you the data for the last 4 years. So in 2020, the global retail size of the industry is valued at 179.3 billion US dollars. Now you can see that there is a marginal dip from year 2018 to 2019. Now this marginal dip was largely because of some regulatory challenges that the industry faced in China. Now China is a very big market. It's currently ranked at number 2. So I think $30 billion comes from China alone. So you can very well imagine that if the industry faces some issues in China, it is bound to impact the overall world figures also. So if you exclude the Chinese number, which is given there at the bottom, I'm not very sure whether you can read it or not, industry is still able to maintain a constant, growth only. But yes, as you can see from 2019 to 20, we have again started our trajectory back, the global figures. Now, which region actually is contributing the most to the global direct selling sales? So Asia continues to be the topmost region, both in terms of sales as well as in terms of number of direct sellers. Now Asia region contributes nearly 43% of the global direct selling sales. Americas, that's the North America and the Southern America, they contribute 36%. European region contributes nearly 20%, and the African and the Middle East region is an emerging market. As of now, this entire African continent and the Middle Eastern part, they contribute nearly 1%. Now, which product categories are most sellable when we talk about the global numbers? So, wellness tops the chart globally. 36.2% of the global sales comes from wellness segment alone, followed by cosmetics, which is 26.2%, household goods, nearly 14%, and then there are other categories also like clothing, financial services, and other agriculture, home durables. But largely, it's these 3 categories globally: wellness, cosmetics, and household. Number of direct sellers. Now globally, 125.4 million people are working as active full-time direct sellers in the industry. Out of these 125.4 million, 26% are men and 74% are women. So direct selling industry, many of you may recall also, in India also, the industry was for a very long duration dominated by women doing business. So globally, women still dominate. 74% of the direct sellers are women, 26% are men. Now, which age group are sending the most, direct sellers? So, as you can see, globally, virtually people from every age group find direct selling to be the preferred mode of earning a self-income. But yes, from the age group of 35 to 54, nearly 50%, more than 50% of the direct sellers comes from this age group alone. Now, let's just look at how Indian direct selling industry has performed in the year 2019-20. So I'm presenting before you the data for the last 4 years. That's from financial year 2016-17 to financial year 2019-20. Now industry has grown at a CAGR of 18% over these 4 years, and in 2019-20 the industry was valued at the gross turnover, not valuation, the gross turnover was 16,776 crores. Now compared to a year before, 2018-19, industry registered year-on-year growth of 28%. Now this growth rate of 28% is amongst the highest globally. If you look at the top 20 direct selling countries around the world, India since last 3 years is registering the highest year-on-year growth as well as highest CAGR over a period of 4 years. Sorry for the technical reason. I think slide 14. Slide 14. Yeah, please move up. Yeah, from this one. Thank you. So let's just see which product categories are selling most in India. So I already shared with you the global data. In India, pretty much on the lines of global trends. Wellness, however, contributes more than 50% here alone. Nutraceutical range, the wellness, the general health benefit, products that offer health benefits. 57% of the sales comes from wellness segment alone, followed by cosmetics, which contributes nearly 22%. So you can see that between wellness and cosmetics, nearly 80% of the turnover from the industry comes from these two product categories alone. But yes, household goods is one category that is fast coming up. Food and beverages is coming up. Home care, and then there are other categories, small categories like agriculture, books, toys, and stationery, and all kind of other things. Let's just see how Indian direct selling industry is positioned globally. So I'm sharing with you the data for top 15 markets around the world. This is for the year 2019. So I'm going to share a year before and for the year 2020 to show how the India has moved up in the ranks. So globally, United States is the #1 country for direct selling, closely followed by China. In 2019, Indian direct selling industry, the retail size of the industry was valued at 2.48 billion US dollars, and we were ranked at number 15th. What happened in 2020 was, if you look on the left side of the slide, UK moved out, Germany moved up, Canada and India moved up, and Russia entered. India managed to move up by nearly 3 spots, and we are in 2020 now at rank 12, and the retail size of the industry is currently valued at 3.02 billion US dollars. Now again, I would like to remind everyone that this is the data for the year before COVID struck. Now we are very sure, we are very hopeful, and the early trends have also indicated that Indian direct selling industry has performed exceptionally well during the COVID period. And by the time the data for 2021 will be out, India is sure going to have a place among the top 10 countries. Now, which region in India is contributing the most to the overall direct selling turnover? So, North India contributes nearly 28%, Northeast India contributes 10%, East India 26%, West India 23%, and Southern India contributes nearly 13%. Now, which are the top 5 direct selling states in India? So, Odisha is currently ranked at number 5. Odisha contributes nearly 5% of the overall Indian direct selling sales, followed by Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, and Maharashtra continues to top the chart. I would like to specifically mention here that Assam is currently ranked at number 9th in the overall Indian direct selling sales. Now, you may recall that when I shared with you the global data, 74% of the direct sellers were women. And in fact, in India also, for almost 22 years, women absolutely, dominated the industry. But since last 3 years, we have seen a kind of role reversal, and that's why I thought let me just present with you the data for these 3 years. So in 2017-18, the ratio of men and women was 49% were men and 51% were women. 2018-19, the ratio changed to 50-50. So there were equal number of men and equal number of women direct sellers. This year, for the first time in 25 years of direct selling history in India, men have outnumbered women direct sellers, which is kind of a good sign also. So earlier direct selling, what we can probably, the key takeaway from here would be that earlier it was taken or considered as a career option for, let's say, our homemakers, probably who want to have some sort of supplemental income, but now many people are taking direct selling as a full-time serious career option. And that's why you see more and more men now joining the industry. So can you do the full screen? No, I think slide 20. Yeah, this one. Yeah, so we discussed this with. So for the first time in India, now this is completely a reversal from the global trend. Nowhere except from India that men have actually outnumbered women. If you go anywhere, women are still outnumbering men. Age-wise split of direct sellers in India. Now, which age group is sending the most number of direct sellers? So, age group of 18 to 24 is sending around 15%. The legal age to enter into direct selling business is 18 years, as per the Indian Contracts Act, because all direct selling entities, they enter into a contract, formal contract with the direct seller, which is strictly on principal to principal basis. Globally, yes, people from, as early as 15 years, they start the business, but this is not so in India. So again, as you can see, people from virtually every age group are joining the industry as full-time direct sellers. But yes, again, between the age groups of 25-34 and 35-44, nearly 60% of the direct sellers are coming from this age group alone. So that was for the Indian data and the global data. Let me quickly share with you the Northeast data. So can we have the other presentation? Yeah, the other presentation, 3 slides. Play it from slide 1. Yeah, thank you so much. So let me quickly share with you how Assam and other northeastern states are doing. Now this is again the data for 2019-20. It's my duty to again remind you. So let's just quickly start. So with Assam, as I said, Assam is currently ranked at number 9th in India. So the industry generated a turnover of 771 crores from Assam alone. And there are over 2 lakh, nearly 2 lakh direct sellers working in the state of Assam. So if you calculate it backwards, the industry has contributed more than 100 crores to the state exchequer in the form of GST also. So we are making a big difference to the overall socio-economic improvement of the state. Moving on to Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh generated a business of 42 crores, considering it's a hill state with a very less population. But yes, there are over 10,000, nearly 10,000 direct sellers working in the state. Nagaland. Nagaland is doing wonderfully well. A business of 110 crores with around 20,000 direct sellers. Manipur, again a very good market for the industry, 211 crores with 30,000 direct sellers. Mizoram, again a very good market, 202 crores with 1,000 direct sellers. Tripura is an emerging market. Right now the industry is generating around turnover of around 59 crores with around 30,000 direct sellers. Meghalaya, 220 crores with around 20,000 direct sellers. And finally, Sikkim, again a small state, around 5 crores with 20,000 direct sellers. So, if we combine these data and look at the picture or the figure for the entire northeastern region, sorry for the glitch again. Yeah. The last slide. Yeah. So let's just quickly have a snapshot of the entire northeastern region. The first key takeaway is that the gross direct selling sales of the entire Northeast region is 1,621 crores, 1,621 crores. Second key takeaway would be that Northeastern region has a share of 9.66% in the overall direct selling sales. Third key takeaway would be that there are 360,000 active direct sellers in the Northeastern region. And of course, the fourth key takeaway is the fact that Assam holds 9th rank in India. So with this, we have come to an end. Hope you are able to get some interesting facts and figures. And in case you have any questions, we are open. Thank you. Please introduce yourself. Kindly introduce yourself, your name and organization.
अच्छा, मैं संतोष अग्रवाल हूँ, दैनिक टुडे से।
जी सर।
दैनिक टुडे। आपने बहुत अच्छा दिखाया, समझ में भी आया। लेकिन एक बात जो समझ में आई कि मुझे जो लगा कि संतुलन का थोड़ा कमी है। जैसे मैक्सिमम बिजनेस आ रहा है वेलनेस से आ रहा है, और जो क्षेत्र है वहाँ बहुत कम, या जो इसमें इन्वॉल्व है तो 55 प्लस के लोग सिर्फ 4 या 5%, और जो मैक्सिमम जो है वो आपके 40, 35, 44। तो इस बारे में आप लोग क्या सोचते हैं? लोगों को किस तरह से इन्वॉल्व किया जाए और जो क्षेत्र है उनको किस तरह से?
थैंक यू जी, आपने बहुत अच्छा सवाल पूछा और आपने बहुत अच्छी तरह नोटिस किया प्रेजेंटेशन के फैक्ट्स एंड फिगर्स। तो दो चीज़ें, पहले वेलनेस के बारे में बोलना चाहूँगी। आई थिंक क्योंकि सबकी हेल्थ लोगों के दिमाग में सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट है, इसलिए वेलनेस प्रोडक्ट्स जो हैं वो सबसे आगे हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ कंट्रीब्यूशन। और भी देखा जाए तो अगर किसी को कुछ ट्राई करना है डायरेक्ट सेलिंग इंडस्ट्री में, वो प्रमोट करते हैं, तो सबसे पहले जो वेलनेस के प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, सॉरी मैं आपको देख नहीं पा रही हूँ, तो सबसे पहले अगर आप देखा जाएंगे तो वेलनेस प्रोडक्ट्स का एक्सेप्टेंस बहुत ज़्यादा है और हेल्थ का इतना ज़्यादा लोगों को कंसर्न है, तो लोग ये प्रोडक्ट्स को जल्दी अडाप्ट करते हैं। और वैसे और भी बहुत चीज़ें इंट्रोड्यूस हो रही हैं, तो हम चाहते हैं एक्चुअली डायरेक्ट सेलिंग जो है एक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन चैनल है, तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन चैनल के थ्रू जितने प्रोडक्ट्स जाएंगे वो लोगों तक अच्छी तरह पहुँचेंगे। तो अब तो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स, जैसे आपने बहुत अच्छा कहा, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एक पॉइंट है, एयर प्यूरीफायर्स वगैरह आ गए हैं डायरेक्ट सेलिंग इंडस्ट्री में, टेलीविजन्स आएंगे, मोबाइल फ़ोन्स आएंगे। हमारे दिमाग में तो ये है कि डायरेक्ट सेलिंग इंडस्ट्री का ये फ्यूचर है कि सब कुछ बस इन डायरेक्ट सेलर्स के थ्रू ही जाए ताकि सारी इनकम इन लोगों को मिले। दूसरा जो आपने बहुत अच्छा बोला एज गैप का, तो इंडिया में एटलीस्ट ये कॉन्सेप्ट ये है कि जब हम लोग ओल्ड हो जाते हैं तो हमारे बच्चे हमारी देखभाल करेंगे, पर फिर भी ऐसे कुछ लोग हैं जो इसको तोड़ के आगे आ रहे हैं। तो हम लोग अपनी भी कंपनी में जैसे कोशिश करते हैं, एक इवेंट में जैसे हम गए थे, एक 75 ईयर ओल्ड की लेडी वहाँ पे थी, तो हमारे जो मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर उन्होंने जाके पूछा, उन्होंने कहा माता जी अब किसके साथ आई हैं? उन्होंने कहा मैं अपने साथ आई हूँ। उन्होंने कहा आपकी एज क्या है? उन्होंने कहा 75 ईयर्स। उन्होंने कहा पहली बार कुछ है मेरे पैसे जो मेरे हैं, और वो उनको एक जो आत्मसम्मान उनको उससे मिला वो बहुत ज़्यादा था। तो ये भी मुझे लगता है आप देखेंगे कि चेंज होगा, जैसे जैसे लोग अपने आप को, अपना जीवन अपने हाथ में लेना चाहेंगे, इंडिपेंडेंट होना चाहेंगे, ये परसेंटेज डेफिनेटली चेंज होगा।
थैंक यू
सर। इसका एक कारण और है, आपने कहा वेलनेस इतना ज़्यादा क्यों करता है। देखिए डायरेक्ट सेलिंग इंडस्ट्री इज़ नॉट अबाउट टिपिकल प्रोडक्ट सेल परचेज करना। यहाँ आप डायरेक्ट सेलिंग कंपनी का प्रोडक्ट क्यों लेते हैं? क्योंकि एक डायरेक्ट सेलर ने पहले वो प्रोडक्ट खुद कंज्यूम किया होता है, आपने उसकी पर्सनैलिटी में, उसकी हेल्थ में कुछ बेनिफिट देखते हैं, तब आप उसकी रिकमेंडेशन पे वो प्रोडक्ट लेते हैं। दैट्स वाई इमीडिएटली जो आप नोटिस करते हैं वो है वेलनेस, हेल्थ, एंड दैट्स वाई लार्जली दिस इंडस्ट्री वाज डीलिंग विद हेल्थ। बट जैसे अपराजिता मैम ने कहा, कंपनीज आर कमिंग, इनफैक्ट IDSA member companies are now offering many innovative products like water purifiers का मार्केट आ चुका है। एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर बहुत डिमांड में आ गया है, फर्टिलाइजर्स हैं या आपका क्रॉप के लिए सॉल्यूशंस हैं, क्रॉप की ग्रोथ अच्छी रहे। एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर स्पेशली इन हरियाणा पंजाब इज डूइंग वेरी वेल फॉर मेनी कंपनीज। So new product categories are coming, not just in India, globally. So I think in the coming years, definitely we will see a more balanced distribution of turnover.
Sorry, just one more point about well also है कि वो products consume ज़्यादा होते हैं। जैसे अगर मैंने एक एयर प्यूरीफायर लिया तो अब जिंदगी भर में वो एयर प्यूरीफायर चलने वाला है, पर वेलनेस के प्रोडक्ट्स क्योंकि उनका कंजम्पशन इतना ज़्यादा है, इसीलिए वो परसेंटेज में भी ज़्यादा नजर आते हैं।
अच्छा, आप लोगों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि आप लोगों ने इतनी अच्छे से समझाया। और बहस के लिए नहीं, इसको एक पॉइंट मैं और जोड़ना चाहूँगा
जी
कि कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं कि 55 इयर्स के बाद के जो लोग हैं उनको यह सोच के दरकिनार कर दिया जाता है कि आप अब लायक नहीं
सर, इस इंडस्ट्री में सर ऐसा नहीं होता।
और दूसरी बात है कि मैं ये जानना चाहूँगा कि 130 करोड़ की जनता है, हम लोग कितने लोगों तक पहुँच पाए? कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है कि अभी भी बहुत लोगों तक पहुँचना बाकी है, कम्युनिकेट करना अभी भी बाकी है, लोगों को समझाना भी अभी रह गया है कि आप लोग इस सेवा का लाभ उठाइए।
सर इसमें देखिए दो पहलू हैं। बिल्कुल आपने ठीक कहा, 130 करोड़ की हमारी पॉपुलेशन है, उस हिसाब से इंडिया को शायद टॉप 3 या टॉप 5 में होना चाहिए था। अगर आप छोटी छोटी कंट्रीज देखेंगे, फॉर एग्जांपल ताइवान या और भी थोड़ी लैटिन अमेरिकन कंट्रीज हैं, छोटी छोटी कंट्रीज हैं, वो हमसे रैंकिंग में कहीं आगे हैं। बट यस, इसका एक लार्जली जो हम लोग एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं, कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट 2019 के तहत डायरेक्ट सेलिंग के रूल्स पे केंद्र सरकार काम कर रही है। सो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कंज्यूमर अफेयर्स जो है वी हैड अभी पिछले महीने भी हमारी एक फाइनल मीटिंग हुई थी. सो आई थिंक वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग कि नेक्स्ट 1-2 महीने के अंदर रूल्स नोटिफाई हो जाएंगे. अगर मैं आपसे एक फैक्ट शेयर करूं, ऑल्दो इट माइट नॉट बी 100% करेक्ट, अगर आप ग्लोबली टॉप 25 डायरेक्ट सेलिंग कंपनीज का को देखेंगे, उनमें से अभी शायद 17 या 18 इंडिया में नहीं है. डिस्पाइट हैविंग कि टॉप 5 हैं, पर टॉप 25 में से 17 या 18 अभी इंडिया में नहीं है. So as an association we keep on getting this feedback. They are all waiting for the rules to get notified. क्योंकि अभी तक एक लीगल क्लैरिटी इंडस्ट्री के सामने नहीं थी. 2016 में केंद्र सरकार ने डायरेक्ट सेलिंग गाइडलाइंस नोटिफाई करी और उसके बाद जो इंडस्ट्री की CAGR है वो एकदम 12% से इंक्रीज होकर 16% हो गई थी. सो हम लोग बहुत पॉजिटिव हैं कि रूल्स नोटिफाई होते ही यू विल सी द काइंड ऑफ ग्रोथ एक्चुअली व्हिच वी आर ऑल वेटिंग फॉर लास्ट 25 years.
थैंक यू.
I just wanted to add, सही पकड़े हैं. Also because डायरेक्ट सेलिंग का अभी तक जो एक माइंडसेट है कंज्यूमर्स या लोगों के दिमाग में, वो थोड़ा चेंज होने में टाइम लगेगा. शायद कुछ ऐसा है कि कुछ उनका एक्सपीरियंस अच्छा नहीं हुआ होगा, कुछ कंपनी शायद आए होंगे जिन्होंने एथिकल बिजनेस नहीं किया होगा. पर जैसे चेतन जी ने कहा वो सब चेंज हो रहा है. जैसे ही गवर्नमेंट रूल्स नोटिफाई करती है तो कंज्यूमर्स को उतना विश्वास आ जाता है कि अब कुछ गलत नहीं होगा, कंपनीज गवर्न है, गवर्नमेंट के हिसाब से रूल्स रेगुलेशंस होंगे, तो इससे बहुत फर्क पड़ने वाला है.
Thank you sir.
It was a lovely presentation. First time I am knowing so much about direct selling.
That was the objective sir. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Santanu Sharma. I am the GM of Three Leaves Group. You know, Assam is a state of tea and oil. I am from tea industry. Right? Now, my specific query would be, yes, there are so many classifications of the products, you know, finding ways to the market. What about tea? You know,
So tea is very much there. We have an exhibition going on. I'm sure if you go there and look at the product range that the companies are showing, you will find tea at every stall. So tea is a very important product category in India. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's there. But yes, what we do is our company specializes in adding values or more benefits to the tea. So we have herbal tea or tea, specific kind of tea that offer medicinal properties.
Right.
So I'm sure if you have a look at the exhibition area, you'll see that virtually every company is offering tea, some or the other kind of tea.
okay. So, in a way, what you were saying that we can contact those companies.
Absolutely, sir. See, yes, as an industry association, you can approach us, and we will make sure that you are, getting linked with the top manufacturers, and then you can take the discussion forward from there.
What would be the formal way of approaching you all or the companies?
Sir, you can write us a formal email, and from there we can take the discussion forward. No issues.
Your email ID would be
idsa@idsa.co.in.
You can take his card after the.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll share with you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mike, please, sir.
How has the COVID impacted?
So please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I am Vikas Singh from Economic Times. How has the COVID impacted or affected direct selling business per se? And as you said, the rules are going to be notified. So those players which are missing in India, are you expecting them to come?
So first, I think your question has two parts. So first, regarding the COVID. So in this survey report of 2019-20, because we were aware that we are notifying it or publishing it after a year, and the questions will be asked about the COVID period also. So we tried to also find out how the industry has performed in the first 6 months of the COVID year. So that's from 2020 March to September 2020. Now these 6 months gave us a very good understanding, because out of these 6 months, the first quarter, April, May and June, was largely dominated by the lockdown phases, and then July, August and September, they were dominated by the unlock phases. So what we observed or what we found that during the first 3 months, the industry managed to register a growth of a year-on-year growth. Not I'm talking about by CAGR or anything, year-on-year growth of 4% in the first quarter. So that means despite the lockdowns and everything in place, we were able to register a growth of 4.5% something. We can share the exact figure with you, but it's around 4%. Next quarter, we were able to register a growth of 9%. So the reason behind this is of course, lockdown was a new thing for everyone. Nobody had heard about lockdown. So our companies have also not faced lockdown. Plus the government was also not clear what to allow, what not to allow, from where to take permission, from where to take pass and everything. But after the first quarter got over and when the unlock started, a lot of clarity came. So government came up with a list of essential items, government allowed, e-pass and everything. And that's why industry responded very well to it and we were able to register a growth of 9%. So overall, in the first 6 months of this COVID year, 2020 and 2021, we were able to register a growth of around 5%, 5.5%.
And if I may just add to that, the reason for this was mainly, there were two things that happened. One was that a lot of people lost jobs because of COVID and companies were laying off people and people turned to direct selling as an option. So we saw that the maximum number of direct sellers who joined, if I compared all the years, previous 5 years, maximum happened in the time of the COVID. Because people realized that this was an option that could give them that income or supplement that income that they weren't getting. On the other hand, because only the essential services were being allowed by the government, companies who already had a portfolio, like you mentioned, tea or let's say spices, masala, whatever came under the essential category of the government, those people were allowed to function. So we had companies that registered growth also because people then realized that you're sitting at home, you're placing an order, you can't go out anywhere. So you're sitting at home, getting the order, getting your online deliveries and still making money out of it. So I think that as a combination really helped.
One more thing, sir. During the first 6 months, what IDSA managed to find out was that the industry touched 25 lakh new customers. I'm specifically mentioning the word customers. These are the people who ordered from the direct selling industry during this period. So even if 50% of these people, they decide to pursue direct selling as a serious career option, so you can very well imagine that, kind of numbers that the industry is able to pull during the COVID period. And as Prajita ma'am said, yes, this was one reason, job layoff. Another was that emergence of work from home concept. So what happens is when you are working from home, many people, they try to find other sources of income. Some they invest their money in share market or the trading. So some they tried their hands at direct selling also. Because here you don't have any specific working hours. If you can devote 1 hour of your day, you can work fine. If you are able to devote 3 hours a day, you are absolutely fine. So that's why these 2-3 factors combined led to this surge in the number of new people coming. But exactly how many people came, we will be able to tell next year only, sir, in February.
Like once the rules get notified.
Oh, sorry, sir. Sorry. Yes, sir. So as I mentioned, sir, all top 5 probably direct selling companies are here in India, global. But if you look at top 25, nearly I think 17 or 18 of them are not here in India. Now, as an industry body, we keep on participating in the global events organized by the World Federation. And the one constant feedback that we are receiving is the moment rules gets notified, many new companies will be coming up in India and they will be setting up their own plants, or they'll be getting into contract manufacturing with the MSME operators here. So overall, in the coming 2-3 years, you will see that the direct selling industry will be able to make a significant contribution to the overall not economic growth, but the socio-economic growth of the country. Media only, yeah? The session is only for the media. We can answer the for direct sellers later, yeah.
Any more questions? Anybody else wants to ask?
Either the presentation was very good or it was.
It's also possible that people are waiting for one-on-one interactions. So if that is the case, then we'll move to end the session here, and you can directly
We are here
move your
till
questions.
6:30.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess with this we call it close.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for your
gentlemen,
participation.
And,
And there's lunch after this.